Hey there and welcome. Today we're going to build a complete IoT project right from scratch. We'll take a simple sensor, hook it up to this powerful little ESP32 S3 board, and get its data showing up on a live dashboard you can check from your phone, your computer, anywhere. All right, let's jump right in. So, what's the big idea here? We're going to take this little pile of electronics and turn it into something amazing, a fully functional cloud-connected sensor. And the end goal? That's the best part. You'll have a live data dashboard right on your screen showing you real-time temperature and humidity readings. So here's our game plan. We've got 6 simple steps. We'll start with the big picture, then get our hands dirty with the hardware and code. After that, we'll hop into the cloud, build out our dashboard so it looks great, and then talk about where you can go from here. It's the full journey from sensor to screen. Okay, first up, the goal. Before we start plugging things in, let's get a bird's eye view of how our data is actually going to travel from the real world all the way to your screen. It's a pretty cool trip. So how does this magic actually happen? Well, it really just boils down to 3 simple steps. First, our ESP32 is going to collect the data from the sensor. Then it'll transmit that info over your Wi-Fi using a protocol called MQTT. Think of it as a super efficient language made for IoT devices. And finally, the ThingsBoard platform is going to visualize it all for us. Collect, transmit, visualize. That's the whole shebang. All right, time to get our hands dirty. Let's talk hardware. This is where we connect our little sensor to the brain of the whole operation, this ESP32-S3 board. And you're going to love this. It's seriously just 3 little wires. We've got power, or VCC, which goes to the 3.3 volt pin. We've got ground, or GND, which goes to a ground pin. And then we have the data line, which we're plugging into GPIO pin number 4. That's literally it. 3 connections, and the physical part is done. Okay, now pause for a second. This is super important, a classic mistake that trips a lot of people up. If you have a sensor that's already on a little circuit board with 3 pins, you're good to go. The pull-up resistor is built in. But if you have the standalone 4-pin sensor, you have to add a resistor yourself between the data and power pins. It basically keeps the data line stable so you get clean, reliable readings. Don't skip this. Hardware's wired up. Beautiful. Now we got to give it some instructions. Tell it what to do. And for that, we're diving into the code, specifically into one single file, main.c. Job number 1 for our little board is to get online. So find these 2 lines right near the top of the code. It's super straightforward. Just swap out your Wi-Fi SSID with your actual Wi-Fi network name, and you guessed it, put your password in for your Wi-Fi password. Now, a couple of quick pro tips here to make sure this works the first time. The ESP32 is a little old school. It only speaks 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, not 5 gigahertz. Also, passwords and network names are case sensitive, so type them in exactly. And finally, just make sure you're using standard WPA2 security, which pretty much everyone is these days. Okay, next up, we have this line for the ThingsBoard token. Now, don't worry, you don't have this key just yet. We're going to go get it in a few minutes. For now, just know that this is its parking spot. It's basically this secret password that lets our device talk to our dashboard. Now, this next one is really important. The code needs to know exactly which sensor model you're using. So find this DHT type line. If you've got the white DHT22, perfect, you don't have to touch a thing. But if you have the little blue DHT11, you've got to change this line to say DHT11. And you might be asking, what's the big deal? Well, it really comes down to precision. The DHT22 is kind of the pro version. It's more accurate, works in a wider range of temperatures, and it gives you nice decimal values, like 23.5 degrees. The DHT11 is a great budget-friendly workhorse, but it's a bit less precise and only deals in whole numbers. The code just needs to know what kind of numbers to expect. All right, our code is basically prepped and ready to go. Now, remember that token we talked about? It's time to go get it. We're heading into the cloud to set up a home for all our sensor data on ThingsBoard. This part is super easy, I promise. First, just sign up for a free account over at thingsboard.cloud. Once you're logged in, find the Devices section. You'll see a big plus button to add a new one. Click that, give your device a cool name, and boom. Once it's created, just click on it to see the details, and there it is, the access token. That's our golden ticket. Go ahead and copy it. So what is this token really? Think of it like the secret handshake between your ESP32 out there in the real world and your ThingsBoard account in the cloud. It's the one thing that proves your device is, well, your device. So now let's head back to our code and paste that long string of characters right where it belongs. Okay, deep breath. Before we hit the big button and upload this code, let's do a quick final check. You know, measure twice, cut once. Is your Wi-Fi info exactly right? You're on a 2.4 gigahertz network? Did you paste that token in perfectly with no extra spaces? Does the sensor type in the code match the one on your desk? And if you have a 4-pin sensor, is that resistor in place? A quick check now saves a ton of headache later. All right, this is it, the moment of truth. Fire up your terminal, and we're just going to run these commands one after the other. We're telling it which board we're using, we're building the project, and then we flash the code onto the chip. The last command lets us monitor the output so we can actually watch our little device wake up, connect to Wi-Fi, and start sending data. If you're seeing messages about connecting to Wi-Fi and sending data, seriously, congratulations. The hard part is over. Now for the really fun part. We're going to go back to ThingsBoard and turn that boring stream of numbers into a dashboard that actually looks great and tells a story. We're going to start with 4 basic building blocks, or what ThingsBoard calls widgets. We'll add 2 card widgets for the right now numbers, the current temperature and humidity. And we'll add 2 charts so we can see how those readings have been changing over the last hour or day. This gives you the full picture, right? The snapshot and the trend. And the best part is, once you've set up one widget, you know how to do them all. For every single one, you do the same thing. You pick your ESP32 as the data source, you tell it which piece of data you want, either temperature or humidity, and then you get to play around and customize the appearance. It's a really quick and satisfying process. And just like that, you've done it. Take a step back and look at what you've built. You have a real working IoT device with its own cloud dashboard. How cool is that? So let's wrap this up with a few quick troubleshooting tips and think about what's next. Now, if something isn't working perfectly, don't panic. In my experience, it's almost always one of these 3 simple fixes. If you can't get on Wi-Fi, I promise it's probably a typo in the password. No data showing up on your dashboard? I bet there's an extra space or missing character in that token you pasted. And if your sensor is reading 0, just double check your physical wires and make sure the sensor type in your code is correct. So there you have it. You've successfully built a bridge from the physical world right into the digital cloud. Your sensor is online, it's collecting data, and you can see it from anywhere. The foundation is built. Now the real fun begins. So the only question left is, what are you going to measure next?